We'll unpack what's new, what matters, and the 3 questions Capitol Hill wants answered. Newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, provided under subpoena to the House Oversight Committee, include a 2003 birthday book with a sketch, a suggestive inscription, and what Democrats say could be President Trump's handwriting. The White House says that claim isn't true. Also in the hall, a photo of Epstein holding a novelty check linked to a Mar-a-Lago member. This article unpacks what's in the files, the legal and political fallout, and the questions now driving bipartisan inquiries on Capitol Hill. 1. How the files emerged, and why it's a big deal. Here's the thing. A batch of documents from Epstein's estate landed squarely in the Capitol on September 8, 2025, when the House Oversight Committee released material it subpoenaed from estate executors. Inside, a 2003 birthday book compiled for Epstein, featuring a sketch, inscription, and what some media outlets say may be a note signed by Trump. That's not all. The documents also included a photo of Epstein holding an oversized novelty check, reportedly for $22,500, with scribbled commentary tied to a Mar-a-Lago member. All of it landed with lawmakers under legal duress, not voluntary submission. Why is this such a firestarter? Because it undercuts the just acquaintances, didn't know the details narrative. It's hard to argue you didn't know what was going on when you allegedly signed a personalized note referencing behavior that courts and survivors have since confirmed as criminal. 1. What's in the birthday book? Let's break down what's in that 2003 birthday book, and why it isn't just creepy art. The sketch and inscription. The birthday book includes a stylized illustration. Small cartoon figures, some appear underaged, giving balloons and gifts to a central figure, presumably Epstein, accompanied by an inscription that reads, "What a great country." The imagery is unsettling, especially given what's since come to light. The alleged Trump note. Reportedly, there's a handwritten note in the book reading, "Jeffrey, showing early talents with money and women, sells fully depreciated, redacted, for $22,500 now." Media say it resembles Trump's handwriting. Democrats assert it's explicit evidence Trump knew what Epstein was up to decades ago. The White House says it's fake, but hasn't offered an alternate explanation for how a private individual's note allegedly ended up in Epstein's personal effects. The novelty check photo. Another image from the release shows Epstein holding a comically oversized check. The caption or markings include $22,500, fully depreciated, which likely ties back to the joke message. Journalists traced the check back to a Mar-a-Lago member named Joel Pasco, adding another potential connection between Epstein and Trump's social orbit. 1. The legal and political stakes material was delivered under subpoena. These documents didn't leak, they were compelled by law. That equals chain of custody integrity and raises legal questions about obstruction, tampering, or negligence if someone had meddled with them. Speech meets evidence. Former denials by Trump and allies that he never knew what was going on now ring weak. This still doesn't prove criminal involvement, but it stirs serious questions. If you wrote a personalized note referencing money and women, and it surfaces decades later with proof, it's not the same as a distant acquaintance copying the news. Bipartisan pressure-building Democrats don't just want answers, some Republicans do too. There's talk of bringing in estate lawyers, forensic handwriting experts, and oversight in open hearings. The larger Epstein network. New scrutiny isn't just personal, it's institutional. Which financial institutions looked the other way? Which political actors stayed silent? The files further sank deep into the web of enablers, and lawmakers want to follow the trail wherever it leads. Media and public reaction outlets like The Washington Post and The Guardian emphasize the gravity that even if no charges come from this, reminders of how elite silence and privilege shielded Epstein for years have found fresh breath. 1. 3 core questions. Congress and the press must answer. 1. Who wrote that note, and can handwriting experts confirm or deny its authenticity? We need independent forensic analysis. Have Republican and Democratic lawmakers considered enlisting neutral handwriting analysts? Will the White House allow external examination? That's the meat of this. 1. What else is in the estate holdings that hasn't been shared? The birthday book might be just the preface. The rest could contain connections to enablers, financial exchanges, or corroborating documents. 1. Were officials or institutions aware, civil or criminal, of Epstein's crimes and chose not to act? If a bank waved anti-money laundering flags or an administration downplayed sex trafficking charges, that's systemic failure. Jamie Dimon, for instance, now says JP Morgan regrets doing business with Epstein but admitted their AML programs weren't perfect. Handwriting. Analysis. Liberate the document to neutral experts. Doesn't have to send the whole thing to the public, but even a private confirmation could shift the narrative. More document disclosure. If these files existed in private hands, Congress must know, and so must the public, because unchecked power insulates wrongdoing. Institutional accountability. Banks, clubs, law firms, anybody or institution involved must explain why, even if no laws were broken, they didn't act in good faith. A political reckoning. It's not just about Trump. If the public sees how the system protected predators, pressure grows for reform. That's what this moment should be about, not show trials, but sunlight, truth, and accountability. Flash summary. 2003 birthday book. Contains a sketch and a supposed note signed by Trump, raising deeper questions. Novelty check photo. Connects Epstein to Mar-a-Lago circles, possibly to Trump associates. Evidence under subpoena. Establishes chain of custody and legal weight. Handwriting authenticity. Could confirm or debunk Trump's direct involvement. Institutional accountability. Highlights how powerful networks can shield abusers. Bipartisan momentum. Shows broader concern, not just partisan point scoring. Bottom line. This birthday book isn't about proving guilt. It's about piercing the veil. It's about peeling back decades-old excuses. I didn't know, I wasn't involved, or news to me. Right now, the House has what looks like Trump's note in Epstein's file. The authenticity is in question, but even the possibility matters. It fuels broader, urgent conversations. How systems fail, who pays the price, and how transparency becomes a guardrail. True accountability isn't about outraged blood sport. It's about confirming facts, establishing connections, and preventing the next predator from staying hidden. That's the path lawmakers now face, and they can't back out.